It's the JT the Brick Show.
This is the silver and black. This is the Raiders. This is a historic franchise. This is no ordinary job.
Your silver and black home to sound off for over 25 years.
I don't care if I offend somebody. If it isn't right, I'm going to stop practice. We're going to do it the right way.
And now, here's JT the Brick.
Out of the gate, JT, as we begin today. Off yesterday, thanks to Vince Sapienza, who filled in. Appreciate that. Appreciate Vince a lot. And I'm back here today after a big day yesterday. I'll get to that in the monologue. Brought to you by Modelo, the fighting spirit of Modelo. I had myself a bucket of Modelos on Father's Day, and it was great. And I'm still going to talk about Father's Day today because Father's Day was Sunday. I was off yesterday. If you have a good Father's Day story about your dad, I do this every year. I'm normally on nationally on Father's Day Sunday. They ask me to work on Mad Dog. I do it, and the topic is really simple. Give me the greatest memory you have of your dad. If he's alive, if he's not alive, you get to tell stories. I had grown men crying, tears crying on the radio Sunday, telling me about their sporting events with their late father or the events with their father. So I'll extend that because we're in summertime radio, and I'm not recapping a Raider game. And we're sitting here talking about summertime topics and Father's Day. I hope you had a great Father's Day. I had a great one. A couple of gifts I got. If you're watching, you should be watching now. Why are you not in the YouTube feed like Ari? Ari's in for Clay. Be in the YouTube at JT the Brick. My wife got me this JT the Knick shirt. Very similar to what Taylor Swift wore when she wore that, shirt on the sideline, and Nicole Nickman and all that. So they got me this shirt. I really like it. It's soft. It's comfortable. It says JT the Knick. That should have been my name originally, but the Knicks was so bad when Jim Rome named me JT the Brick that they named me JT the Brick because the Knicks could never win. So maybe I should have been JT the Knick. But I don't think that would have been catchier. More people wouldn't have been able to come to me, Ari, and troll me on Twitter if I didn't have a name if I have a name like Brick. People call me a brickhead or this, or they take out a letter in Brick and substitute another. With the Knicks, I think they would have left me alone. But we are here. We are excited, and I got a lot to say. A lot to say. So let's get going here and appreciate it again. YouTube, JT the Brick, become a bricklayer. We'd like you to sign up for free so you can watch the show, see what we're doing, and I get to talk to you during the breaks. That's what we do. We stay live during the breaks, and then I get to read it. And you might meet your wife or your partner, or you might make an internet friend. And sometimes internet friends turn out to be good friends. A lot of times, be careful. The internet, you don't want to make friends on the internet unless you vet them. But jump on in. We call them the bricklayers, and I really appreciate them. And we got a lot going on for them. All right, where do I go? It's one of those days where there's so much going on. As I got off the air last night at 11 p.m., and I did something cool last night that's happened probably less than 5% of my career. But when it happens, it's great. There's breaking news at night. Giannis Antetokounmpo to the Heat happened last night about 8 o'clock or 8:30 Pacific, 11:30 Eastern. So all the bigwigs who do East Coast TV and radio, they're all in bed. I had it first, man. We opened up the phones. I had to pronounce the names of all the players that were traded, like Jaime Jaquez from Miami. But the bottom line is Giannis Antetokounmpo ended up going to Miami. And the draft is tonight, and that is a big-time story. So let me dive into that as we open up the show today and what that means. Giannis is arguably the greatest basketball player on the planet. When healthy, that's an asterisk. And he's normally been healthy. 13 seasons, he's played a lot of full seasons, playoffs. He's won multiple MVPs, and he's won a championship. He's one of only 4 MVPs traded in the prime of his career. I mean, we're talking Wilt Chamberlain. We're talking Shaq. This is a good list that he's on. So I think that the Heat dropped the bomb on the NBA. Dropped the bomb on the NBA, and Pat Riley's 81 years old. Happy Father's Day. I just saw my dad. He's 88 years old. When you get into your 80s, you really want to make sure you take care of the remaining business you have of your life. And hopefully you have many years left. But Pat Riley's 81. He took a big swing. He's the same guy that brought Jimmy Butler there. He brought Shaq with Dwayne Wade. He brought LeBron James and Chris Bosh to play with Dwayne Wade. He brought Alonzo Mourning to Miami. I mean, this guy's done a lot of big deals. The only other deal maker that's been bigger than him is Jerry West. And Jerry West throughout his Hall of Fame executive career. So Pat Riley's taking one more swing. You got Bam Adebayo and Giannis on the front. They're both elite NBA defensive players. You guys never want to talk. You never want to talk defense anymore. You just want guys to shoot threes, right? All you do is want guys to come across half court and shoot threes, like Wemby shooting threes when they're up 13 and giving the Knicks the championship. No, those guys play defense. Bam Adebayo scored over 80 points this year, and you know Giannis just plays downhill. Now, they got rid of Tyler Hero and a couple other guys. They'll get other guys back. So Miami all of a sudden went to a higher favorite than the Knicks. Now, wait a second, as I wear the JT, the Knicks shirt today. My Knicks just won a championship a little over a week ago, and no one's talking about my Knicks anymore? We're talking about the Heat? Come on. I need like a month of people celebrating my Knicks, and they're not, because now today they're talking about Miami. So I thought this was a great trade for Milwaukee. They got a lot of value in return. They got 4 starters, but they lost Giannis. But the 4 starters are pretty good. And they got a whole bunch of draft picks. But like draft picks in 2030 and 2033, when you look at all that, I mean, when you see those deals go down and you wonder about that, you say to yourself, well, why are we trading away picks? Well, those picks are like 6 years from now. Who cares? You know the New York Knicks traded 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges? 5. I wouldn't have traded 1 or maybe 2. 5, and they won a championship. So now the Knicks are set. They don't ever have to ask that question again. Trading 5 first-rounders, was it worth it? Yeah, it was worth it. They won a championship. It's great about sports. When you win a championship, you don't have to defend any reason how you won that championship. Isn't that cool? You can just trade it away. You could trade away the best player on your team. If you win, you don't have to defend it to anybody anymore. You won. And I think that's what's happening now in the NBA. Now, here's a good topic for you, because I got to get everybody involved in the show in the summer, because I blank and moan when there's not 9 callers on hold. Someday there's going to be 9 callers on hold, Ari, before I get here. I will go to Natalie and I will quit. And people will be happy about that. Maybe some in the building, too. And I will quit, and I'll say, Natalie, I achieved my goal. Everybody was on hold before I opened the mic. But until then, I got to give you the phone number, 702-365-9200. Because you're now used to radio shows where, like, there's 9 guys talking at once, and they don't even want your phone call. Or national shows that don't take phone calls. Like, wow, I'm listening to a national show that leads into me, and other big ones, they don't even take phone calls. Holy cow. I would love to have a career, Ari, where I didn't have to be accountable and no one could call in and no one would have to correct me. You imagine that, Ari, where I came in every day, bloviated about whatever I wanted, and then we locked the phones and I didn't have to take any heat?
You're in the wrong business, yes. JT.
I would be in the wrong business. So we want to hear from you, 702-365-9200. So I like the Giannis deal. I got that right. I said he was going to Miami. It was Miami or Boston. I got that one right. I got it wrong about Mike Brown. I said the Knicks shouldn't have hired Mike Brown. He won a championship. So you get it right, you get it wrong. But if you're a fan of the NBA, here's the topic. Why did the Golden State Warriors and Chris and West Oakland and all of our Warrior fans, why the hell didn't the Warriors get Giannis Antetokounmpo? You got Warrior fans like Chris and other guys in the Bay, Cisco. Oh, my guys, they love the Warriors, man. They've been giving Kevin Durant, Steph, Clay. They get all these guys hand-delivered, and you Warrior fans couldn't get Giannis? I've been hearing this name Kuminga for the last couple of years, right? Before you move him, and I'm like, you couldn't have packaged before that? Don't the Warriors have a bunch of guys on the bench? Don't the Warriors have a bunch of picks they could have moved for Giannis? Can you imagine Giannis playing with Steph Curry for 3 years or 4 years? So that's the topic for you Bay Area Warrior fans. How come you didn't get Giannis? What are you doing? I mean, I know Draymond controls his contract with the no-trade clause, but wouldn't it have been great to move a whole bunch of Warriors to Milwaukee and get Giannis? So explain that to me. And don't tell me you don't have the money. You got an owner that'll go over the second apron. You got the ability to do whatever you want. Here's Kendrick Perkins Kendrick Perkins on one of the morning shows on ESPN talking about the deal and Giannis and the big move of the day.
Giannis would never win another championship with him being the number one option. I repeat, Giannis Antetokounmpo, you heard what I said. Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Oh, my God.
No. Giannis Antetokounmpo would never win another championship with him being the number one scoring option.
Wow, that's a pretty hot take. He might be right. You know, will he be the number one scoring option? I think Giannis is a better player than Bam Adebayo, but Bam Adebayo had 80-plus points this year. So I don't know. I think the Miami Heat are going to be in a really good position because they're going to be able to recruit. You want another great topic that my son will probably clip up here and use, which is, I think, a big topic for Vegas? What's going to happen when Las Vegas gets an NBA team? How many players are going to want to play in Las Vegas? For the state taxes, no state taxes, playing in Las Vegas, the sports and entertainment capital of the world, and have an opportunity to build the championship in Las Vegas when that team gets approved and we have new ownership in Las Vegas. In the meantime, I've been saying this for decades, NBA free agents want to play where the palm trees are. That's me. I said that first. The palm trees. They want to play where the good weather is. They don't want to play in Detroit anymore. They don't want to play in Milwaukee. They don't want to play in the cold. They want to play where the palm trees are. That would be L.A. with the Clippers or the Lakers. Okay, there are some palm trees in the Bay Area. The weather's good in San Francisco. They want to play in Miami where the Heat are. They might even play, there's palm trees in Orlando, but Orlando's not a team that gets a lot of free agents. They lost Shaquille O'Neal. That was the biggest player they ever had. NBA players do not want to play in Memphis. They don't want to play in New Orleans. They don't want to play in Portland. And on the top of the list where they don't want to play is Sacramento. You ever meet an NBA player that wants to go to Sacramento on purpose? I mean, they'll take a trade and go there if you pay them $130 million. So Giannis going to Miami is a massive, massive story. We have NBA fans in this town. I'd like to get a reaction nationally and locally on what do you think of the Giannis deal. 702-365-9200 is the number. All right, I got a Raider topic because I guess the name of the station is what? Raider Nation Radio. And I got two really big topics. I'll go first with the light one. I spent the day yesterday with the Raiders rookies. Wow, what a humbling experience. We broke the record at the Raiders draft class luncheon. 31 rookies showed up. 31. I hung out with 4 of them on stage, and it was pretty cool. When you looked at the group that I was on stage with, and everybody's been asking me, well, you were on stage with Fernando Mendoza. Fernando. Fernando is one of the most humble guys I've ever met in my life. Now I've met him twice. I was also on stage with Trayton Stukes, Kieron Crawford, and Mike Washington Jr. So we went backstage. Those guys were having lunch, and we talked for a few minutes. Hey, guys, this is going to be easy, light. I'm going to ask you questions, blah, blah, blah. And all the guys stood up and shook my hand. I was like, man, that's classy. Thank you. And then I went on stage, and Fernando sat right next to me. So here's what I want to share with you about Fernando Mendoza. I introduced him at Raiders headquarters the day he came to the Raiders on stage. You were probably there if you're Raider Nation. And that was pretty cool. This was different. I got to sit next to him, right next to him, and ask him questions, and the same amount of questions to the other guys. It was the first time in my 30-year career of interviewing people, from Jim Brown to Joe Montana to Fred Biletnikoff to the greatest basketball players to play, Patrick Ewing, all the big interviews I've had in my career, that this young man, when I interviewed him, he looks me right in the eyes when I'm asking the question. And then he pauses for like one Mississippi. So I say, Fernando, your parents, your life, what do you think about your family, this or that? He listens, he pauses, and then you can see the computer dashboard work behind his eyes. I've been doing this a while. I've never seen that before. He makes this type of eye contact, and then you can see the AI computer chip behind his pupil pause for just a split second, and he answers the question brilliantly. Brilliantly. with dignity and respect. He's 22 years old. He got an engineering degree at Cal in 3 years. I mean, this guy is so much smarter than I am. And, I can't believe how smart he is. I just was so nice to talk to him that way. And he praised Jim Plunkett. And he praised Marcus Allen and Tim Brown. Got him to talk about Clint Kubiak. And then the Raiders have the video, unless someone else took it. I asked him a question about his progressions. I said, Fernando, when you're in college with Kurt Cignetti, the ball came out. Oh, our Wi-Fi went down just when I wanted to clip this video. Beautiful. Beautiful. Wi-Fi down alert. Wi-Fi down alert. Go to the radio. Go to the radio. Raider Nation Radio, 920, LV Sports Network. So getting back to Fernando, Ari, sometimes you got to remember we're doing radio first, not YouTube. But I want to let everybody know we're here still. So what Fernando talked about with his progressions is the fact that when the ball comes out, sometimes he likes to go through the progressions because he loves disciplined receivers who stay on their route and don't get selfish. And I was listening to that, and it was pretty amazing what he had to say. That he likes playing with receivers who are disciplined in their routes. They don't break off their routes. They keep doing what they're supposed to do, so he knows with his progression where everyone's going to be. And he's able to do that, and he does it at a great level. So he's just different, everybody. He's at a much different level than everybody else. Now, does that mean I can guarantee how many games he's going to win? No. Can I guarantee what game Fernando is going to start? I cannot. And we're back on YouTube. But what I can tell you about Fernando is Fernando's going to want people in that huddle that follow his leadership and do their jobs correctly because he's going to do his job correctly. And it's just incredible to be around him. To be around a 22-year-old. I got a 23 and a 25-year-old sons, and they're sharp. They're really sharp. This guy, I mean, it's hard to explain, and I get paid to explain. It's hard to explain what he's about. He's just different, and he's such a good guy. And the way he treats people, from the staff to the nice ladies who were bringing him lunch, the manners he has from his mom and dad, that's important in life. Do your kids have good manners? When your kids are with you at an event or anywhere, when they get up and a woman comes in the room, do they stand up, shake their hands, and look people in the eye? That's called manners. That matters in life. He's a quarterback. You can tell that's not his life. Fernando Mendoza is something. I want to give all the other guys their flowers, too. Traden Stukes is just incredible. He's a guy that loves to just go anywhere you put him on the field. Eric Allen did a really deep dive, a breakdown of his, and thanks to EA, because everything EA does was really cool, because Eric Allen did a breakdown of the defensive players, and when it came to Stukes, he was lining up over the middle of the field as a nickel, a deep safety. He could recover on a deep ball. He could tackle in space. He's our second-round pick, man. He's got to be on the field. Everybody hear what I said? Stukes got to be on the field. He can't come off the field. This ain't JV, man. This is the Raiders. Robbie Leonard will have him ready to go. He's got to be on the field. He's our second-round pick. He played 52 games. 52 games in college. He's got to play. I'm sick of this. We're going to draft corners and safeties, and they're going to be maybe getting in the game, but they're special team players. No more. No more. We're putting these guys on the field. Pete Carroll wanted them to compete. I get it. Josh McDaniels didn't love young players, rookies. He liked veterans. I get it. This Traden Stukes needs to be out there opening game against Miami as a starter or someone who's on the field right on the first third down. It's 3rd and 8. They bring in some nickel package and Stukes is in. Okay, that's what I think about him. Then, as we continue on with the rest of the gentlemen who I was there, the 4 rookies at the rookie class luncheon, I was pretty blown away by Mike Washington Jr. Mike Washington Jr. is the running back. Listen to this story. He grew up in Utica, New York. He went to Cicero North Syracuse High School. Then he played 3 seasons at Buffalo, where Khalil Mack played. Then he transferred to New Mexico. I think it was New Mexico or New Mexico State. I'll double check. And then he goes to the SEC for 1 year, and he averages 6.4 yards a carry for Arkansas. Wow. I mean, this guy gets around. And I talked about the 2-back set with Genty and what he's able to do and put his foot in the ground and run downhill. Another thing that Eric Allen pointed out is that when Mike Washington Jr. gets tackled, he falls forward. He's really good at falling forward, and he picks up another 1.5 yards. It's really good to have him and Genty. And then Kieran Crawford, who jumped in the pool, he said it was scripted when he did that. When he got the call and was drafted, he jumped in the pool. And he's just a guy like Malcolm Kuntz. He's the guy that's going to get after the quarterback, but you can line him up on the outside. So that was really fun. Really fun to sit down with those 4 guys. If you were there yesterday, hope I got a chance to see you. And it was fun. But with that rookie class, I look back on my Facebook memories, Ari, and I look back that was the 6th time we did that. And I look back at my Facebook memories roughly the same time. And all the rookies, pretty much at the rookie class luncheons the last 5 years are gone. Oh my God. I'm looking at a picture of me and Tyree Wilson. He's wearing the same shirt that Fernando wore yesterday. Rookie college shirt, gone. And then you go down the list of all the other rookies who are gone. And I'm like, ooh, what's going on? We're introducing these rookies, and they're not even here for their first contract. So we need some guys to stick around. And I know I've said this before, and I'll say it again. This has got to be the class that turns the Raiders around, led by Fernando Mendoza. Period. That's the easiest thing I've ever said in my career with the Raiders. Easiest thing I ever said. And then one last funny story on that. I got a call from a buddy of mine. He saw some social media with me and Fernando, and he goes, wow, a lot different than when we were working with Jamarcus. And he was a producer back in the day at the radio station I worked at in San Francisco. I go, what do you mean? He goes, what do you mean, what do I mean? Jamarcus Russell, when he was a rookie, I was on the team bus with him to San Francisco when we played the Niners in the preseason. He sat in front of me with 2 phones. He had one phone and another phone. He was using 2 different phones. I'm like, oh, boy. And he had a Yankee jacket on, not a Raider gear. And I'm like, this guy, good kid, Jamarcus Russell, good kid. He got thrown into it, got so much money. It just, the purple drank, all the other stuff. It just got away from him. I wish Jamarcus well. I do. I hope he has a really productive life. But Fernando Mendoza isn't going to be sitting on the team bus with 2 phones. He's not. He's going to just be locked in. So that was yesterday. And then I find out today, someone tells me they're talking Raiders with Adam Schefter on TV this morning. Here's Adam Schefter wondering if the Raiders have to go out and get a senior wide receiver.
Adam, I know they're excited about bringing Jalen Naylor in free agency, but that is a young group that doesn't have a lot of experience. Are you hearing anything about the Raiders and veteran wide receivers?
Well, I don't think that they're pressing for him, but it certainly wouldn't be a surprise. And Hawk brings up Stephon Diggs. But you take a look at the wide receivers out there right now. Clearly, they're not getting the money they want. But it is a decorated grouping. Yes, there's age and injury question marks. But think about some of the names at the free agent position who are now available. Stephon Diggs, Deebo Samuel, Tyreek Hill, DeAndre Hopkins, Brandon Ayuk is trying to talk his way out of San Francisco, Keenan Allen. There are a lot of high-profile wide receivers on the street. So if the Raiders decide that they want to go add one, there's certainly no shortage of all these players who are just waiting to see if they can try to get more money before they come back.
So that is our topic today, courtesy of ESPN. Do you want the Raiders to add a veteran wide receiver? Pretty easy topic, right? If I don't get you to bite on that, I might have to call in sick. I don't want to talk for another 90 minutes to myself. So I think that's our topic today, Ari. Is there anyone in Raider Nation, anybody who wants Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo? Everybody got the topic? It's real easy. Adam Schefter just said there's royalty out there who are not being signed and the market is going down. Kind of like SpaceX stock. It went up. was happy to be a part of it. It's coming down. So the market for the veteran wide receivers is coming down. Raider Nation, would you like to get a veteran wide receiver? I think Trey Tucker's a veteran wide receiver, right? He's a veteran. Jalen Naylor's been in the league, but he's young. The rest of them, Jack Besh, Dante Thornton, hasn't worked out yet. I'm pulling for him. I think they're going to be good players. Hasn't worked yet. So what do you want to do? So here's what I think. I'll go first to try to grease up the phones. I'd be very careful here. Very careful. Now, there's two ways to look at this topic. Number one, Clint Kubiak ain't blanking around. Clint Kubiak is different. He is not bringing in a cancer. Clint Kubiak is not going to bring in someone. And remember, he's had time with the Niner brass and the Niner tree. Okay? And then you look at Stephon Diggs and Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel. Clint Kubiak's been in this league for a while. He's not going to bring in anyone who's going to disrupt the locker room because of Fernando Mendoza, I believe. I'm not putting words in Coach's mouth. Or John Spytek, never. But I don't think John Spytek and Clint Kubiak want to bring in any disruptors. They got a good young team, a nice base. This is a really good young team. So what I think is going to happen now is they got to figure out if they have enough in that receiver room. Now, the good news also is that Brock Bowers is a receiver, not a tight end. Start thinking that way. He's a 100 reception receiver with Michael Mayer backing him. So let's make Brock a receiver for this conversation. You got Brock, you got Naylor, you got Trey, you got Jack, and you got Dante. That is not a great wide receiver room around the NFL. That is not in the top 20. But maybe they can outperform our expectations. What happens if Jalen Naylor comes in this year and has 92 receptions for 1,080 yards and 7 touchdowns? That could happen. He's now getting out of the wing of Justin Jefferson. I got Rob here who says in my chat, "We're good, JT, we're good." Are we good? We're the worst team in football. What do you mean we're good? We're not good until we prove it. I think we're better than our record. I think we're better than 6-7 wins. But don't act like the Raiders don't have to look at a veteran wide receiver. We need to be looking at a veteran right tackle if they become available. Right? If someone's better on another team, you go get them. So, Raider Nation right now, who do you want? Cisco says, not out of that crew of wide receivers. We can't take a chance with these guys. I'd rather win with what we have or run with what we have. Okay. Big D. Would go Hopkins, who has always been a team player. Wow, Big D. He might be right. Right? Hopkins, kind of a team player. Who are the? I mean, Stephon Diggs. I forget the girls. Was that Cardi B?
Cardi B.
That was Cardi B.
Many others.
Okay, that was Cardi B. I'd pass, but I got to be very careful, ladies and gentlemen, more so than you, because one of these guys could be here, and I'm going to be calling the preseason games, and I don't want to be the bloviator on the radio that said, don't bring in the guy because he's dating Cardi B, and then have to call the game. I don't want to be that guy. So I got to be careful here. The only guy I don't like, and it doesn't matter if he came to the Raiders, I don't like him, would be Tyreek Hill. I've always trashed Tyreek Hill his entire career for being a bad guy. And if he came to the Raiders, he would be much more important than me and anything I've ever done with the Raiders. And I'm proud of my accomplishments, but Tyreek Hill, if he came to the Raiders, I understand my role. Okay, I know that. Okay, I'm not sitting here saying that I'm going to die on the sword, Ari, and I'm going to walk into the studio and quit because they got Tyreek Hill. No, I don't mean it that way. But I'm going to give you a chance here, everybody. Let's light it up at 702-365-9200. Adam Schefter talked about that today on Get Up. We should be able to handle that on the flagship radio station. Some days I doubt it, especially in the summer. I feel like everyone's taking their kids to the park or swim lessons. We're here to hear from you. 702-365-9200. I think the best value, for me, the best player is by far Brandon Ayuk, because he's train wrecked right now, and he could be rehabilitated. And I'm going to be talking about that with Wyndham Clark. Wyndham Clark was hated at the U.S. Open. He won the U.S. Open. If you can get Brandon Ayuk for 30 cents on the dollar, put him in the corner with Max Crosby, and put the kid on the right path and not pay much for it, would you do that? Why wouldn't you do that? The guy's a great player when he's not, like, acting, I don't even know what the word I would use here, man. He's off the reservation a lot. But, you know, the Raiders have been known for bringing in cast-offs, right? Bringing in cast-offs over the decades who have come here and rebuilt their career. That's all I got today, unless you want to hear me kill time for an hour talking golf. I gave you a great Raider topic. Let's go. And the draft is tonight. I'll give you my opinion on the draft. 702-365-9200. Is it time for the Raiders to significantly think about Stephon Diggs, Deebo Samuel, someone that you know has made plays? You see him in Madden, they scored touchdowns, and you can live with. Give me a name.
Welcome back to the JT the Brick Show, brought to you by The Black Hole. Become a member of football's most notorious fans.
I trust Jack Bech, the football player. You know, I mean, where he aligns, we're going to move people all over the place. I think you guys saw how Clint used, JSN. They're going to move him all over the place. So we're not going to be an offense where we just stick a guy and he's the number one guy on the outside. I also don't think there's many of those guys walking around on the face of the earth like you're talking about, the true X's. So if you're lucky enough to get one of them, you hold on to them for dear life. And if you don't, then you make it work with what you got.
It's John Spytek about the wide receiver room going forward. We want to welcome a brand new partner, Fletcher Azul Tequila. Wow. Mark Wahlberg, Fletcher Azul. Big boy tequila, huh? We're excited to welcome Fletcher Azul to our show. A premium branded tequila, as smooth as it gets. We had some nice product delivered to the house, and my wife, who loves to get on YouTube and try something new, made a pitcher of margaritas with fresh lemon that I could not believe. I could not believe. And it tasted as refreshing as anything I've ever had in Backyard Brick. Really good. We welcome Fletcher Azul, proud partner of the show. Open lines, we shouldn't have any. We're not a podcast. We're a live show. I asked you the simple question of the day. Would you bring in a veteran wide receiver? Because ESPN Get Up this morning believes the Raiders need a veteran wide receiver. And there's some pretty good wide receivers that are still left. So Raider fans, who would you want to, I got a better topic. Who would you want to keep out of the Raiders organization more so than anybody? Here are your choices. Tyreek Hill, Brandon Ayuk, Stephon Diggs, Deebo Samuel. If I'm forgetting one, put it in the chat. But let me know. Let me know what you think is the one guy you would keep out of the building at all cost. Because I've been doing this long enough to know that people change. People change. And a lot of people told me in the chat today if I'd comment on Geno Smith and the alleged issue he had domestically with the mother of his child. I said, well, it's on the news. I can discuss it. I saw the video, but there's no charges. As of now, there's an investigation. If that investigation proceeds, like it has multiple times with Tyreek Hill in his career, I'll report on it when I see it there. But again, Geno, I was surprised to see that video with Geno at his house. And I don't know if you want to call her his partner, the mother of his child category, that would be. But that was a disturbing video. But there's always two sides to it. And when there are arrests and convictions and people get booked, and they're in jail, and then they get on bail, I talk about it more. We'll have to wait and see what happens here. But who are the Raider receivers that you think? And look, when it comes to Bowers, I treat Bowers as a different type of player. I don't look at him as a tight end. I think that Clint Kubiak is going to use him as a slot wide receiver and then an outside wide receiver. And I think that you're going to look at a guy who is going to make plays in spots that you couldn't believe Chip Kelly couldn't get him in or Geno Smith could not get him in. This is completely different. So you're looking at a situation now where we have to trust Clint Kubiak to get Brock into situations where Brock hasn't been in since Georgia, right, with Monken, and they moved him around really good. They moved him around at a high level. So the top wide receiver free agents include high-end players in this league. Tyreek Hill, Deebo Samuel, Stephon Diggs. Okay, some of these other receivers who are available, Deebo Samuels has been dynamic. You can line him up as a receiver or in the backfield, right? So when you look at Stephon Diggs, reliable route runner. Name me a better route runner. I mean, Devontae was great. He still is at route running. There's some great route runners there. No one better than Fred Biletnikoff and Jerry Rice. Stephon Diggs is known for that. Mike Evans ended up in San Francisco. So I always keep open on my computer the free agent tracker, the best available free agents that are out there. And a number of them are wide receivers. And the wide receivers, when the market goes down, I can tell you one thing. A lot of them are divas, Ari, right? They're divas, these wide receivers. They got boats and they got Bentleys and they got houses and they got cars. They are divas. And some of them have been in trouble. Listen to the amount of the players who have been in trouble with the law. Tyreek Hill, Brandon Ayuk. I'm going to pause on Stephon Diggs. I don't know everything. Then there are other names. DeAndre Hopkins, Brandon Cooks, Sterling Shepard, Tyler Lockett. And going down the list. Zay Jones, remember him. It gets pretty lean. I like Gabe Davis. Wow, I didn't know that if he is still available. I like Gabe Davis a lot. But Keenan Allen, a lot of people are asking me about Keenan Allen, and he's a really good player when healthy. He missed a lot of games over the years. He gets banged up a lot. Brian, thanks for breaking the streak. Thanks for calling in today. I appreciate it. I knew I came here to talk to you today. Brian, go ahead.
Hey, how you doing, JT?
Good.
I listen to you all the time when I'm at work up here in London, Ontario, Canada. I have been a Raider fan for 59 years, and the one player I would not like to see on the Raiders is Stephon Diggs, because Stephon Diggs brings the trouble and the commotion of his brother. You don't have one problem, you have them both talking.
But what happens if he... Wait a second. Let me interrupt. What happens if he's not a problem? Because John Spytek, Clint Kubiak, Tom Brady, and Max Crosby vet him and say none of that happens here. None of that happens here.
That would probably be a miracle, I think, because his brother, even if you can keep him quiet, his brother can't keep his mouth closed. His brother will complain about things that aren't even going on. Even when little things are going on, he makes a comment that just even stirs it up even more. So can you keep both of them quiet?
Okay.
And the one I'd like to see is Tyreek Hill. I like to see Tyreek Hill there is because if you put him there with our other speedster, which one are you going to block? Are you going to cut the speed out of the middle, or are you going to try and take the speed away from the outside?
So
you're two speedsters.
Okay, but you're okay with the character of Tyreek Hill over the course of his career, especially his recent behavior in South Beach?
I think that one you could probably solve, because that is one where you can take only one person, and you could probably solve that problem by setting them down and putting certain things in the contract that if you don't behave, you're gone. Okay. But he has only one problem. You don't have the brother who's also shooting his mouth off, right? Either that or Brandon Ayuk. You could either take either one of them, because speed on either side with our other speed and Trey would just make a headache for either one. You can't block speed over the middle where the linebackers are, or you got to block the speed going deep. You would have two guys, which you're not sure which one you're going to cover, with all that speed all over the field. Either one of those two guys, I think, would work great with Trey Tucker.
Yeah, okay. Excellent phone call. I knew they were out there. Thanks a lot for checking in. It's really interesting to me, character guys, right? Character guys. Not everybody was a great character guy. Cliff Branch turned out to be one of the greatest character guys I've ever met with the Raiders. Cliff got after it pretty good, right? Cliff had a good time. Believe me, Cliff got after it. Throughout his entire career, Cliff got after it. Who would you want to count on more in a big spot for the Raiders in Cliff Branch? Hall of Famer, right? And I'm not saying, nothing to do with domestically the treatment of women, nothing to do with that. I'm just saying some of these players have a history, some of them, of domestic issues, okay? Problems with their former partners and women of their kids that are high profile and very alarming, but they're here to play football. And not everybody's a great character guy. I opened up the show talking about the character of Mendoza. Not a lot of people on God's green earth have the character of Kirk Cousins, right? His wife, his kids, what he has. Kirk Cousins is a big part of what we're talking about here. Whoever the guy is, let's say it's Deebo Samuel, who's just a playmaker. One thing I like about Deebo, you can give him the ball. You can just give it to him all over the place. If Deebo was here, he'd end up playing for Kirk Cousins for the first month of the year. You don't think Cousins going to want to get the ball to Deebo and Deebo want to make plays for Cousins to hang on to their careers? So it's an interesting question. I'm torn. I'm usually not torn on topics. I've been known to have strong opinions in topics. I'm torn on this one because I believe the Raiders need a better wide receiver room because I believe the players they've drafted already have not proven themselves, and they are on a short leash to improve themselves quickly. Okay? Dante Thornton, I'm a big Jack Besh guy. I've seen Jack out a few times. Love the kid. Jack Besh's brother was killed in the terrorist attack with the car on Bourbon Street, and Jack has to live with that his whole life. His hero, his brother. He's a different cat, man. Give that young man time to grieve and to find his way in the world. He's going to be a hell of a player. Dante Thornton, I mean, come on. Something's got to happen in the preseason with this guy. They got to run some plays for him. I mean, where is the high ball fade to Dante Thornton in the end zone? Where is it? I mean, he was available last year. We were the worst team in football. We had the ball inside the red zone. We couldn't get Dante on the far side to catch a 50-50 ball with his height. We didn't even throw it to him. We didn't even have him on the field. Got to decide what we're going to do with him. That's why the competition is going to be really good. Ellie, you're up next here on the flagship. What's happening, Ellie?
Hey, JT. Listen, I am a believer that if you get a veteran, and I'm not a big guy in character, but I am today. I've been a Raider fan for over 60 years. We've had a lot of guys we brought in that you can question their character, but they came to the Raiders and they shined. So, but I still don't want a troublemaker. We don't need any troublemakers, but a veteran will just add so much to that room. Deebo would be awesome, but to me, any good veteran will just make a big difference in that young room. That's it. That's it for me, JT.
All right, so you believe that a veteran in that room is going to make a difference. Why? What is a veteran going to do? I watch Hard Knocks. I've never missed an episode. So a guy in that meeting room is going to be a veteran, and he's going to do what? Help Jack Besh study? Oh, what are they going to do? I don't know. That's interesting to see. When we come back, we'll stay on this topic. Also, I have a lot to say on Wyndham Clark winning the U.S. Open. And Alexi Lawless. I put out an Instagram video today on Alexi Lawless. You can find that at JT the Brick LV on Insta. We want to thank the DeCastroverde Law Group. My buddy Alex DeCastroverde, one of the two brothers, the Brothers Win. BrothersWin.com.
Welcome back to the JT the Brick Show, brought to you by Modelo Especial, the new #1 beer in the U.S.
I think that healthy competition is there. Caleb Rogers, certainly part of the conversation. Trey Zune, certainly part of the conversation. We didn't really get a chance to see Charles Grant last year, the third-round pick out of William & Mary, and so we don't really know what that's going to look like. And, oh, by the way, Coach Rick Dennison, his perspective of what these young offensive linemen are is probably very different from what the previous coaching staffs were.
Wow, that's Jason Horowitz. JT back with you. If you were watching us on YouTube, I just got a nice box in the mail. I love getting deliveries, nice gifts. So I opened up the box, and it was a gift from Raider Dad. So if you're watching on YouTube, this hat is beautiful. The Raider Dad logo. Raider Dad will take kids to games. If you are not going to a game, you can donate your tickets to Raider Dad, and he'll bring kids who have never been to a Raider game. It's unbelievable. Mark Chinook, they had the big night out. Monday's dark. They raised $10,000 for this great, great group, Raider Dad. So I'm looking in the box, and then he sends me a nice cup. It's like a cooler. But you won't believe this, and this is why you should be watching. Oh, man, look what he sent me. A Brock Bowers jersey. Authentic. Look at this jersey. It's my first Bowers jersey. Let's put this thing on, Ari. Are you kidding me?
I'm jealous.
Look at this Bowers jersey. Wow. Let's get this on the stream. Woo! Look at that. Brock Bowers with the tag on it. Raider Dad. Unbelievable. Look at this. I might have to wear this to the torch. Do the pregame show with Eric Allen with the Bowers jersey. Let me turn around. Look at that. Wow, Raider Dad, man. Really nice. New hat, new drinking cup, and a Brock Bowers jersey, man. Now, Ari, I can't fanboy and walk into the building and ask him to sign it, but I could have one of my sons do it. Brock's great, man. I appreciate this. What a nice gift. Way to go, Raider Dad. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Everybody go support Raider Dad as I got my Brock Bowers jersey. And I wore my JT the Knick shirt today, so I'll have to take the jersey off at some point and get back to that. Ari, when we come back, Ari's going to tell you all about what we're doing for the summer of fun.
Boom.
And that will be Ari telling you about that. And then Albert Hall from the Summer League is going to join us at 1:20, and I'm excited about that. Albert Hall, they built something special over at NBA Summer League, man. And Albert Hall, we'll get here and we'll tell you all about that because it's the night of the draft. JT, that was a fun hour. Ari's in this week for Clay. Clay will be back. We appreciate his time off and what he does for us. Clay's the best. Hour number 2 coming up next.
It's the JT the Brick Show.
You just get up every day and you take one step at a time and you keep going and you show up. We have a big mountain to climb, but we're not trying to do it all in one day.
Your silver and black home to sound off for over 25 years.
It's really important to me that we're a gritty team, that the way that they were back in the old days. It's nothing that we say, it's what we do on the field. All the little things that win that have nothing to do with scheme.
And now, here's JT the Brick.
We're back, hour number 2. We're brought to you by Boyd Gaming. Always bet on black. 10 local casinos here in town, the local casino partner of the Raiders. We have new partners we're welcoming. Some exciting news coming up. We told you last week we welcome Aspen Vodka, the official vodka of the Raiders and the New York Yankees. Man, they know who they're dealing with. And Fletcher Azul Tequila, proud partner of the show, one of the greatest and most powerful brands in all of tequila, join forces with us here on Raider Nation Radio and a couple of new ones over the next couple of weeks. England, Ghana underway. Portugal won earlier today. Cristiano Ronaldo had a couple of goals, so he is performing at a high level now. Took me about 45 minutes last hour to get anybody to really talk about really the big topic of the day. Is they're talking Raiders, and here's Adam Schefter. We'll start off this hour with Adam Schefter on Get Up. And he was on with a couple of guys that I know, Dan Graziano, and they are questioning the Raiders' wide receiver room, wondering if the Raiders should get into the hunt, into the marketplace for a veteran.
Adam, I know they're excited about bringing Jalen Naylor in free agency, but that is a young group that doesn't have a lot of experience. Are you hearing anything about the Raiders and veteran wide receivers?
Well, I don't think that they're pressing for him, but it wouldn't be a surprise, and Hawk brings up Stephon Diggs. But you take a look at the wide receivers out there right now. Clearly, they're not getting the money they want, but it is a decorated grouping. Yes, there's age and injury question marks, but think about some of the names at the free agent position who are now available. Stephon Diggs, Deebo Samuel, Tyreek Hill, DeAndre Hopkins, Brandon Ayuk is trying to talk his way out of San Francisco, Keenan Allen. There are a lot of high-profile wide receivers on the street. So if the Raiders decide that they want to go add one, there's certainly no shortage of all these players who are just waiting to see if they can try to get more money before they come back.
All right, so why are they talking about the Raiders on the morning show on ESPN? My theory is simple. They are talking about Fernando Mendoza indirectly. Indirectly, everybody's talking about Fernando Mendoza. My 88-year-old dad saw a picture of me and Fernando yesterday. What is he like? Everybody wanted to know what Fernando's like. And every producer and every director on those shows are like, look, we normally don't talk about the Raiders, but if we're going to talk Raiders, let's talk about wide receivers. So there are wide receivers still available. And do you believe that the Raiders should dip their toe in the water and go get one? Because I think they should consider it. That's all. I just think that they should consider it. And when you look at free agency, it seems like Adam Schefter believes that the market is going down. And as the market goes down, then John Spidek can go shopping, discount shopping. Do you have a wife or a partner that likes to discount shop? A lot of you guys are married to those gals that want to spend all your money, man. They go to the big spots. They're at Neiman Marcus. Oh, my God. They go to Prada. When you're not looking and you're out there, they're out there. Oh, they're looking for the good stuff. But do you have a wife or partner that goes to the dollar store and gets good deals or goes on Amazon Prime looking for Prime Day? Well, that's what's going on now in the NFL. There's a lot of football players who are out of work. They don't have jobs. They're veteran, free agent wide receivers. So DeAndre Hopkins is interesting to me. But if you bring in DeAndre Hopkins to play for the Raiders, then you're going to take away about 30 targets from Jack Bash. Why do you want to do that? Ari, don't you want to give Jack Bash as many balls as he can get and get Deontay Thornton some more balls? What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to see what these it feels like I want to see the rookie class, but last year's rookies class, I want to see what they're capable of. My whole theory on this whole discussion, after kind of hearing some other thoughts about it over the course of pretty much the whole offseason, I look at the Raiders as they were 3-14 last season.
Ooh.
It's just been brutal the last several seasons, and I feel like they finally have things moving in the right direction. I know there's a lot of ifs, but it's like a lot of things that were like, oh, again, like no quarterback, again, all of these things, no the coaches, the continuity, all of these seem to have been tightened up. So now, like, you really have a shot at turning the team around, and really, that's what this is, right? Technically, it's a rebuild year. Mm-hmm. So to me, character aside, which I'll get to in a second, I just don't see the need to jump for a wide receiver. If something organically happens that works out, like you said, if there's a great deal, go for it. But yeah, and then getting back to the character, I just don't think I get your point, but I don't think it's worth trying, throwing that Hail Mary on such and such that may or may not have good character or they may change. I just don't think they've earned, the Raiders as the organization over the years at this point have earned, I guess I'll call it, the right to give it a shot. I think like they've already kind of made some poor decisions, and here we are. So
yeah, what's interesting good points about veteran character guys who have veteran issues still, character issues. They should have had character issues as rookies, not as veterans. So if you're looking at some of the veterans going, wait a second, why are they still a troublemaker? Why do they still get in trouble? Why are they still a diva? Then you got to say to yourself, well, maybe we don't want them here. I think it's an important topic today because Adam Schefter talked about it. I would have never talked about this today until Ari texted me this morning and said, we have this. I would have been like, I didn't get up today and watch that show. You nuts? I'm watching World Cup. Oh, I'm not getting up in the morning in the summer and watching what? Get Up? Are you kidding me? I got more content than that whole show. But when they're talking about the Raiders, my ears perk up. And I'm like, are they trashing us? Are they taking cheap shots at us? Or are they bringing up something that's important? I think this is a good topic. So it made it into the show. So quite simply, if you're joining us for the second hour, would you want a veteran wide receiver? Yes. And if it is, who? And the choices would be Stephon Diggs, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, or Tyreek Hill. We're not talking Cooper Kupp. Remember Cooper Kupp a couple of years ago? Cooper Kupp's a really good player and a good character player. That's the type of guy, if he was 2 years younger, I'd be like, Cooper Kupp would be really good around here, man. But we got Bowers, who's going to be working the slot. Bowers is going to be in the slot. And if he's going to be in the slot, you got to be pretty excited about Bowers getting a lot of those receptions that DeAndre Hopkins would get if he was here. There's only one football. Here's the way I do the math, Ari. It's pretty simple. The Raiders run on their bad days like 35 plays on their bad days. But let's say the Raiders run 50 plays, and they can run 50 to 60. So let's meet at 55 plays on offense they're going to run. I have 20 touches for Ashton Genty.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, we're down to 35. I got 12 targets for Brock Bowers, or 13. Okay, now you're sitting here with 20-plus targets left. I want Big Mike Mayer to get not one. I want him to get 4 or 5. Jalen Naylor, I want him to get 5 targets a game. He might get 7 receptions. So whoever you bring in is going to take targets away. Now, someone's going to get injured. I hope not, but injuries happen. So, Raider Nation, you've been rough today, man. This is a pretty important topic. Do you want a veteran or not? I would say today, no. Today, I'd say no, because I want to see what Clint Kubiak does at rookie training camp. Training camp's going to open up, I think, on the 23rd with the rookies, then the 28th with the veterans, if I got that right.
Correct.
I want to see the rookies get a head start, see them play a little bit, and then we're going to jump in with the veterans. And I think the veterans are going to have to prove themselves, man. I was talking to a couple of people at the draft class luncheon yesterday. I mean, why is Jackson Powers Johnson competing so hard to play? Anybody got an update on that one for me? I mean, this guy has not had it easy. Jackson Powers Johnson, every time he shows up, everyone's like, no, you got to compete. Okay. I thought he was pretty much a lock when he came from Oregon. We took him pretty high. He won a pretty high award in college, couldn't get on the field to play center. He's still competing. We know Jack Besh is going to have to compete. I think there's going to be some good, tough love with him to kind of get him going. I think Deontay Thornton, it's make or break for him. He's not going to get cut. I'm not making that insinuation. But Dante Thornton Jr. has never played for Clint Kubiak and this team, and he's going to have to prove that he can block, that he can play, he can catch the ball, and he can get open downfield. So if you replace Dante Thornton, or didn't just say, I'm not talking about cutting him, I'm talking about taking his reps away, and brought in Stephon Diggs, you know what you're getting in Stephon Diggs. You know what you're getting. But I don't know if they want him in that locker room, because they've made a lot of decisions on what they're going to be able to do and what they're going to be able to do. And I'm interested in getting your opinion on, is this an emergency, Ari? Does it feel like Adam Schefter talking about this morning made it an emergency that the Raiders should look at veteran wide receivers, or is this just a hot topic as they're doing what I'm doing? They're trying to kill time this summer to get to the end of the show like I'm doing beautifully today. Are they doing that?
A little different, I think. But yeah.
What are they doing?
I think you started off the show saying the wide receiver room is not great. Like, we're not great. And so, I mean, yeah, I think it's a fair assessment or a fair topic, but yeah, I mean, I think there's other glaring things around the league and around other teams. Meaning, like, and also, if you just throw in some, wide receiver one that just is amazing, does this all of a sudden become the belle of the ball and everyone's talking about like Adam Schefter's going to be singing their praises midway through the season because they have such a great wide receiver room? So it feels a little more like just a topic coming from him, but it's a real one.
I think what the Raiders should do is look at veteran wide receivers. Take a look, kick the tires. You don't have to do anything. You're not in a rebuild. This is not a rebuild at all. We're not rebuilding. But just take a look. Look around, and if a deal comes that is so good that you got to take that player because you get him for much cheaper than your scouting department and your personnel department thinks it's cheaper than that, go ahead and do it. Breaking news today, quarterback Brendan Sorsby will not play in the NFL in 2026. The league has elected not to hold the supplemental draft. Wow. What a beat down for this kid who got caught in a gambling scandal. Wow. The NFL's decision came down to its right to decide whether to hold a supplemental draft per the collective bargaining agreement, and league officials said they believed it would ultimately become a distraction as teams are beginning training camp. Wow, this kid's in trouble. His application carries with it a lot of issues, an NFL source told ESPN, and the core is an integrity issue. Sorsby admitted to betting thousands of times on college and pro sports, bets that totaled upwards to $90,000 and included 40 wagers on his team, Indiana, while he was on the team. His attorney, Jeff Kessler, told ESPN that the NFL's decision to not hold the supplemental draft is a violation of the CBA and the law. We will pursue this immediately with the NFL Players Association. Look, the NFL is king. The NFL is going to tell you what they want to do. And the NFL is telling this kid, nope, you gambled on football as a football player. You think we're going to have a supplemental draft for you? You think we're going to change the world for you to get an opportunity when you were getting paid millions to play college football and screwed it up by gambling? No, we're not going to make you a priority with the supplemental draft. So that's a big deal. It's a big deal because he's a good player, and he's not allowed to play college football. So he would probably, in next year's draft as a quarterback, everything I read, he would go anywhere from 15 to 30, but in the first round. He'd be a first-round quarterback. If he doesn't play a full season, are you going to take him in the first round? Probably not. So this young man lost a lot of money, and I hope he's mentally fit to handle this negativity because there's some serious negativity. Ooh, Harry Kane just took a free kick. No, it was Rice, and blasted it. Didn't go in. England, Ghana, 0. No score, 13 minutes in. It's a big game. England's pretty good. They can win the World Cup. Argentina can win the World Cup. France and Germany could win the World Cup. I don't believe the United States is capable of winning the World Cup, but they're capable of advancing. And then when we come back, we'll talk more about some of these crazy fans in the World Cup. I mean, they're over the top, aren't they? They are crazy, and they're better than us. That's one of the tougher things I have to remind people. We in America are not the best at everything. We're the best country overall, freedom, democracy. We have our good days and bad days as a country. We're better. We're the best country in the world. We are not the best sports country at all. Not even close. Not even close. These international soccer fans are coming into our cities, our towns, and taking them over more so than anyone's ever taken over a town in an American sport. How come we can't show up during NFL games and take over Times Square? In New York City, the Giant fans, and have that many fans as the Dutch? How come when the Scotland team shows up in Boston, they drink the whole entire city, they drink all their beer? Raider Nation didn't even do that in Oakland. We didn't drink all the beer in Oakland, I can know that. And we got the best fans in football. I think these European soccer fans and these African fans and all the fans around the world, they're teaching us a thing or two. And also coming up, Albert Hall is going to join us from NBA Summer League, one of the original OGs. And we're going to have a lot to say on that, too. Want to thank the M Resort Spa and Casino. They have 2 towers now. 2 towers are better than one. What a gorgeous casino property. The pool has concerts all summer long. You should attend a few at the M Resort Spa and Casino.
Welcome back to the JT the Brick Show, brought to you by M Resort Spa and Casino, the official hotel of the Las Vegas Raiders.
Knicks are operating, planning right now as if they're going to stay below that second apron number in team salary, and that has a lot of implications. It's going to be really tough to bring Mitchell Robinson back, assuming he gets strong offers on the open market, which he will. I think he'd have to take a pay cut here to come back to New York. It sets a lot of moving parts, a lot of pieces moving around here for the Knicks in the front office.
That's Ian Begley from the Putback Podcast, and I had him on my show Sunday about the Knicks and what the Knicks are doing. Albert Hall will join us momentarily from NBA Summer League. We have no score between England and Ghana in the World Cup. Cristiano Ronaldo today scored a couple of goals. So he was the last great all-time goal scorer not to score at this World Cup, and now he scored and he got 2. So everybody should be happy about that. The NFL also ruled that there will not be a supplemental draft. There will not be one, so Brendan Sorsby is stuck. He will not play in the NFL, and he won't play in college. And he shouldn't because he got caught in a gambling scandal. Supposedly he got help for that, and I'm all for help, and that'll be okay. Speaking of needing help, Tiger Woods made his first public appearance today as the PGA Tour is coming back with a new way of running their tour. I'll talk more about that coming up here, which I think is pretty important as you look at what they've been able to do. And the PGA Tour is trying to evolve with having 2 tiers now of the PGA. 2 different tiers. One with the elite players, the best players, and then a challenger series under that for less money, which makes sense to me as they're trying to evolve. I want to talk about a guy who evolves every day. My longtime friend, Albert Hall, president of Hall Pass Media, co-founder of NBA Summer League, and we're back again for one of the best events we have ever done in Vegas. It gets better every year. It evolves into even bigger greatness. And Albert, we're excited to see you again, man. We're here again. How are you?
I'm great, JT. Always a pleasure. Thank you for that intro. But if you're not evolving, you're dying. Let's go.
Yeah, and I'm evolving with the new JT the Knick T-shirt my wife got me for Father's Day. As long as you've known me, I have never had the chip. Now I get to float through your parties and get to go to the Knicks. I get to go to Knick games as a champion, man. 53 years.
Hey, congratulations, yes. Man. Congrats. That was a lot of fun. Good for the league. Good for everybody to just take in, the wholeness of that entire scene with the finals and the play of everybody. And it was a likable group. So we're excited. Obviously, we saw a lot of those guys come through Summer League, and, the next story is about to be told.
Yeah, it's interesting here because, being such a diehard Knick fan, it's been a struggle, and really you have to go back to 94 and 99 to look at the team that was close, and then the amount of droughts. But the last couple of years have been players, they went with the Villanova 4. They traded 5 picks for Mikal Bridges, not 2. We're talking about Giannis and trades also I'll get into. But the Knicks and Leon Rose made a lot of big decisions lately, and I got to give James Dolan, the owner of Sphere, right down the block from here, a lot of credit for finally putting this thing together and winning that championship. One of the great individual championship runs in NBA history.
Without a doubt. Don't forget OG Anunoby. Signing him when they did was huge. And then, it all started with Jalen Brunson willing to take a little less so he could build a team. And it was just nice to see, because in sports, we obviously we see the highest priced guys don't always win. They always make the headlines, but maybe their teams don't win. And this team just had a team feel, kind of like those Patriots teams and some of the others that were just really, really well constructed. And, going forward, you look at what these teams at Summer League and some of the teams at the top of the draft right now, they're not that far away. And you get a player and the caliber of the guys coming in this draft, they can make an instant impact.
What's interesting, Albert Hall is our guest, is every year when we have you on and I talk to you about what to look forward to, there's always a big star. So it could be Victor Wembanyama a couple of years ago. There's always the top pick. And everybody wants to see the number 1 pick that first game. And you have to deal with the crowd, the VIPs, the celebrities. And you're always able to accommodate this and pull this off. This year, it seems really different because there's 6 to 9 guys that feel like they are great players here. So you're going to have waves of fans coming out to want to see their number 1 overall pick. And especially the top of this first round looks electric tonight.
It's electric. There's no doubt about it. It's an easy way to say it. People are like, oh, it's the 4 players at the top, and then it starts. I have to disagree. I think there's guys that, you're going to find 10, 12, 15, 20 deep. Just look at the Michigan guys. Look at what they did this year. Yaxel was the best player in the country, and no one's even talking about him in the lottery, right? And then you got Morris Johnson moving up, and a guy like Kareem Lopez, who people haven't seen, who's really, really good. Nate Ahman. There's a guy that's listed for your Knicks in late 20s, Isaiah Evans. This guy could be a 20-point-a-night scorer.
Yeah, it's incredible.
So it's hard. We always try to take care of them, and that's the thing. I appreciate you acknowledging that. It is a challenge, but we love the challenge. We want everybody to feel like they're big time. It's Vegas. It feels like a prize fight, especially the first weekend. But also now, JT, you've got the chance of an NBA team coming in. Mr. Foley put his name in the hat yesterday. Obviously, that's big news. They know how to run an operation. So our thing is hey, locals, come out, support Vegas. It's your way to show that you guys are ready for an NBA team, not just the first weekend, but the whole way through. And we've got so much stuff going on around town. It's going to be awesome.
Albert Hall's our guest. And I look at, the different college markets that have players coming in, and my wife's a big Illinois fan, and when we watched Illinois play the last couple of years, and then it comes around to the draft and we got Wagler coming, and he's a player that could go 4, 5, 6, or 7. And what's fabulous about the draft that's coming up here, Albert, tonight is that player going to a city that he didn't plan on going to can change the direction of that franchise for the next 20 to 25 years. And you don't know. You could end up in Utah. You could end up in L.A. You could end up in Detroit. Isn't that what fascinates so many people and these young men, knowing that other than the first pick overall, from 2 to number 7, a lot of these guys are sitting around going, I could be on the West Coast, Midwest, or on the East Coast.
Yeah, and it's great because they've all been watching over the years. They know the roster construct already. So they're like, look, I can come in. I'm playing with this guy. Here's my strengths, weaknesses. You're seeing coaches move around. So it's really a fluid situation for these guys. And then it's a whirlwind. They get drafted tonight. They go meet the market. They meet their owners, everybody tomorrow. Then they train for a week, and boom, they're in Vegas ready to show out at Summer League. And as you said, every year there's a star. Whether I go back to a guy who we all talked about years ago, remember Brandon Roy? Mm-hmm. Remember, and the people who followed him knew how good he was, but he shows up at Summer, you're like, this guy's already a big-time pro. So you have those guys who take center stage as well, who may not have been the top 4, but they find a place to play in this league. You talk about Wagler. I mean, he's just a puppy, right? And then there's so many other players that you could go through. I mean, between the guys that I mentioned, but some of the other guys, like a really good college player, you don't know how good he's going to be in the pros yet, but Jaden Bradley at Arizona is a guy who just all he did was win games. And you get them out league guards. Summer League's a great place to showcase. And then here's the other thing. You have all 30 teams. So a guy may not fit. He might be a free agent on a Summer League team. He might be exactly what another team is looking for.
Albert Hall joins us, Hall Pass Media, the co-creator of Summer League. Dear friend, he's been great to us. We were one of the first ever broadcasts from there. We'll be back again with multiple broadcasts coming up. I wanted to ask you about a blockbuster trade like Giannis last night when the news broke and how that affects Summer League, because Miami had to give up 4 starters. I believe those are starters they gave up to Milwaukee. So Milwaukee got more than if they would have did a deal with Boston. They held out for more. Pat Riley, 81 years old, wanted to get the deal done. And now I take a look at Miami that has Adebayo and Giannis and say, well, they got to replace some of those players they lost, some guards. So if I'm going to NBA Summer League, I want to watch the Miami Heat because Giannis and Adebayo are not going to play. They might be there. But to see how they're going to develop the reserves if they're going to take a run and compete and win the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, no question. I mean, you throw in a guy like Portis, too. Like, that was a big addition, right? You throw in there, but will he stick? What do they do with Norman Powell? But the reality is they have to develop the young guys along the way. I know they're pretty high on a couple of their guys, but they're not ready yet. You know, we know that. But the pieces that they may have to do another trade or a sign of a free agent guy, I mean, that's where Summer League, all the maneuvering, the posturing, who's signing free agents, right? And then that comes up, and guys that are still on the market after 3 days in of free agency. It's going to be fascinating. Because no matter what, you may have acquired a Giannis, but you still need 12 guys on the active roster. And Summer League's a great place to identify that. Not to mention, JT, you and I have talked about this. You got every market in the world there, right? So a guy may not play in the NBA. He's going to go over play in Europe maybe for a year and then come back. So it's there's a lot of moving pieces, and we love it.
All right, Albert, tell us what's new. Every year we started off with evolving and these fan zones, interactive zones, what you do for us as a broadcast partner and what we get to do, and then the parties you throw at your casino properties and your partners there. What's new this year?
Well, I think 2 things that kind of come to mind is, number one, Amazon. So Amazon will be broadcasting Summer League games for the first time this year. Huge deal for us. Okay. NBA TV is no longer, so it's ESPN and Amazon. So you're talking about all of these games, not just, I think we have 24 ESPN1 windows. So you're talking about big-time visibility. And then, secondly, you talked about, I have to give a shout-out to the Palms. Mm-hmm. We were at the Palms for 15 years with the Maloofs. The Palms is back now. Yamava purchased them. They're doing a ton of stuff. So we have activations going on at the Palms. We have a Saturday, the 18th, we have a $10,000 Papa-Palooza Papa Shot contest with the pros from Papa Shot all over the world coming in. So that's one of the fun things that we do. You know, we've got this whole Summer League After Dark series. We're going to be at Piero's one night. We're at Scotch 80 one night. We're doing all these different things where it's going to be a lot of fun. And, you know, we bring in, as you know, it's a $275 million impact in the economy in Clark County. And we bring a lot of people there who aren't just there to watch games. They're there to enjoy Las Vegas and have the best time possible and, you know, contribute back to that community.
I'm going to Piero's for the chicken parm. Are you kidding me? It's one of the greatest joints of all. Best. I mean, there's nothing
has that dialed in over there.
No doubt. Hey, lastly, I'm heading with my son and my wife. We're going to World Cup at SoFi on Sunday. And my wife says to me, where do you want to stay? I say, well, look, I don't want to stay in Inglewood. It's a mob scene, but, you know, somewhere close to the beach. So we found a nice little spot, Manhattan Beach. You're down in Newport Beach. What is SoCal doing right now with the World Cup? I mean, it's a different off topic, but you got a big media company here. Every time I turn on this World Cup, Messi and Mbappe, someone big is scoring. Ronaldo had 2, and SoFi in Southern California's got the Olympics coming up. You got so many NBA venues there. What's it like, the vibe in Southern California this summer?
Hey, not to mention the Super Bowl next year, right? So, you know what? I think everybody's trying to put their best foot forward. You know, California has been through it's been a punching bag a little bit, but I mean, these are ways for everybody to show what it can do, what the possibilities are. The players love being out here. Obviously, you got the weather, the beach, the great amenities, the families come out. So, you know, you're seeing a lot of the stars start to showcase themselves. I'm not a huge soccer fan, but I've noticed now as you get into the round of 32, now it becomes star-driven. I think it was country-driven. No matter what, that's always going to be the backbone. But now you also have the stars, and they're coming out. I just saw the top 4 players all scored 2 goals in the last game. So it's like the fans, the community, the economic business community as well, they're all supportive of it. Yeah. And look, we don't know where it's going to end up. I think it's going to be a huge 2-3 years for the Southern California market right now with Super Bowl and Olympics and all of that. So, look, all we're doing is we're promoting come to Summer League if you're in Southern Cal. It's a short drive. And at the flip side, like when the Olympics are going on, we're sure to have some nice events out here to support them.
Yeah, NBA Summer League, a Las Vegas local since 2004. General admission, reserved courtside, and experience tickets on sale now. The most important Summer League ever. And Let's Go Las Vegas, you can go to NBAevents.com, UNLVtickets.com. And again, you're always very transparent. You've been telling me for a long time, get your tickets early because we love to take the kids. Kids love to go. Don't be stuck waiting the day of a game that you want to see your team. So get ahead of this, right? We're doing good with that?
Yeah, it's hot out there. You don't want to be stuck out there. You know, we want to get you inside. Air conditioning is free, part of the price. And, look, can you believe this is our 22nd year?
Yeah, it's great.
So in 2004, you know, we joke, we were just begging to get people there and trying to teach them that, hey, this is real basketball. And now we're here with, you know, 150,000 plus fans and billions of impressions all over the world. So it's a tribute to the city, Clark County, guys like yourself, JT, you've been pumping us from day one because you saw it. I mean, you're like, hey, I'm going to bring my kid out. I don't want to sit at home and take care of him. He's a young guy. What can he do? I'm like, just come out. There's something for everybody. And now he's got a whole business around marketing and doing stuff with it too. So it's great, man. There's a little something for everybody, whether you're, you know, part of the community, whether you're from out of town, whether you're a baller, whatever. But come on out. It's a great vibe, and we can't wait to host people because we're pretty good at it.
I'm proud of our friendship and all your accomplishments and you achieving all your goals. Thanks for being our partner here. I'll see you out there a bunch coming up here.
I appreciate you, brother, as always.
Thank you. Albert Hall, the co-founder of NBA Summer League, and what he's been able to do to build this brand. Did you just hear what he said? Amazon now is in. NBA TV already is out. So we talked about evolving, right? When he was on hold and you got him up there, I was talking about evolving. NBA Summer League is not the way it used to be. Hey, drop the kids off, get your tickets, pick them up 6 hours later. This is big time. You can do a lot of things inside both of those venues there. And then I think, Ari, the big thing they've done lately is their activations for nightlife. So when you want to go see some athletes and some players, they're going to the nightclubs. Now, they're here to work, and the rookies are not so much in the nightclub, but the GMs are. They're at the pool. And deals get done, Ari, too, out here.
It's great. It's always been great to me. I haven't been down myself in a few years, but man, I remember back in the day, it was, especially when there was a lot less things going on here. It was so much fun. It still is. Great event.
So we're back for the summer of fun. I want to make sure that I execute this for my teammates in the building. Tell us all how this works. What are we doing this summer?
Raider Nation Radio and Terribles. Big shout out to them because they're the ones behind all of this. We're doing trips or money if not. So we have a chance to win an escape to. And everywhere from Hawaii, shout out to Q, the Grand Canyon, Sedona, Yellowstone National Park, Southern California theme park trip, or Mississippi River cruise, and a whole lot more. There's a staycation. So each of these, you take the trip, or you could take some cash instead if you prefer. So, which is really cool when you have a contest like that. You can actually do both. So, pretty simple from there. We have a word of the day, if you're familiar. We do that often. We've done this before. So the word of the day, which you can text in to 702-365-9200, is fireworks.
Ooh.
Fireworks. And I implore you to spell it right and don't do talk because you don't get qualified unless it's the actual word.
So if they text fireworks, they enter to win.
Just like that. That's it.
And that's our text line.
You don't have to, you don't have to jump through any hoops or, give us. It's the word of the day. So we'll have a word every day, basically, that the show is on. We are actually off tomorrow, JT the Brick Show.
Whoa. Wait a second.
Or is that not?
I have not been aware of that. Am I off for an Aviators game or something?
Yeah, I was going to say not for a bad reason. Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen.
You're telling me I'm off tomorrow in the summer?
Yes, apparently so.
Okay, because Q's away.
Yeah,
and we don't interrupt him. I don't like getting calls on vacation either.
Yeah, don't call him.
I would like I would like to work tomorrow and trade out my Friday, but it's too late to do that.
I need to call Jim Gemma on that one.
Yeah, so that is. Ooh, look at that.
I'm not going to lie, too. I partially was like, is he kidding with me right now?
Because my one rule. I love getting preempted by the Aviators. Right? I have no problem with that. I love Jim Gemma. Donnie Logan, you want to talk about a made man. If there's going to be a statue here, it better be for Don Logan. But I don't do one of those work for 20 minutes. If I'm off, I'm off.
Yeah.
Right? If I'm having Modelo's in the pool tomorrow on Wednesday, you can't call me and say the game ended early. We got to do 20 minutes.
Not a good idea.
We have hey, all right, it's good. We have syndication buttons now.
Absolutely.
You just press a button and we can pick up other programming.
Yes, so we are. So there you go. Breaking news, like I said. Yeah, so outside of tomorrow. So and there will actually, I take that back. The morning tailgate, I'll have the word for you. There you go. So for tomorrow. But for today, it is fireworks. Give us a text there right now.
Okay.
See if a couple are coming in. So
and I just found out I'm off tomorrow, which is fun because you should.
You're
be
welcome,
off.
JT.
Well, in the summer, you should be off for radio. Our advertisers and our listeners are our priority.
Yes.
Okay. We come behind our advertisers and our listeners, but I talk about summertime radio all the time. I mean, gotta tone it down in the summer because I get so intense. I just found out this morning what my Raider schedule is going to be this year. With the coach and the shows and the pre and the post. Woo! I am lucky and very fortunate that the Raiders put me in this position, so I'm very excited about my continued role with the team, a big NFL team now that has a lot of excitement going on. No score, England, Ghana. I root for England here. They got their hands full. Ghana can play, and they're going back and forth with England and the Three Lions today. And that game is in Boston. You know how much beer they drank with Scotland and England? Have any idea? I think they drank every Sam Adams beer that they could be there. Well, we got a lot to get to. We'll wrap it up on the other side. Last call. I like to call it Speed Brick. I'd like to hear from someone before we leave. 702-365-9200 as we get this thing rolling. And I want to thank Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers all summer long. Raising Cane's one love. Whenever you have a pool party, an event, something big in your life, go to Raising Cane's. They'll cater it for you. The best chicken fingers in the world, one love.
Welcome back to the JT the Brick Show, brought to you by the DeCasta Verde Law Group. If you get injured in an accident, call 702-222 888-866-9999.
The Miami Heat, for quite some time, that's been the real knock about them. It's like you have everything here, and I mean everything. And, excluding no state income taxes. And it was just impossible to imagine why it was difficult for Pat Riley and them to get some stars to want to come here. So to pull off getting Giannis, a top 5 player on the planet as far as I'm concerned, when healthy, is a huge, huge deal. This is the Miami Heat. We all know they know how to fill a roster. The question is, can you get the star? And they got him.
That's Stephen A., my buddy. Stephen A. and me started a long time ago. Well, I started before him. He came to Fox Sports Radio. I always tell the story. They did not believe in him. They didn't think he was going to be really good. And, man, that was a miss. So we're watching Ghana, England here. Ari and I in studio here, and we got a lot happening. So Friday I'll be here on the radio, and then Friday night at Allegiant Stadium, I get to MC once again the Max Crosby Foundation, an evening with Max Crosby and Rachel Crosby. So that'll be really cool. A lot of money's raised for Max, and Max has several charities that he gives that money to, right? Pet Rescue, what he's been able to do with pit bulls, everything he does with sobriety. And then he adds someone new, and then these groups come up and they get a check. And Mark Davis is always there. In the past, Dana White's been there. A lot of people show up, and some coaches and some teammates. So that'll be Friday night at Allegiant Stadium. And I'm really excited for Max, because I believe, and Max has been through a lot. You might say, well, too bad. He's making 160, whatever he's making. No, Max has been through a lot, right? His sobriety is really important to him. His family means everything. And he's done a hell of a job as a Raider. And then they traded him because he wanted to be traded. Max was okay with the trade. The Raiders worked with Max, and they traded him to Baltimore, and the deal fell apart. Because Baltimore was a bunch of scoundrels, and they did Max and the Raiders dirty. That story will never change. Okay, I have visions in the next couple of years of my career. I've already wrote a successful book, maybe write another book. I have a couple ideas of what I want to talk about. And one of the things I've been doing is keeping notes about my time with the Raiders. And I will tell you, this chapter with Max Crosby is really interesting, because I think they did him dirty, and they did him really dirty. And when you do someone dirty like that, it comes back to haunt you. And Max has taken the high road the whole time, considering what happened with the Ravens. And as he's working through an injury, all he's been doing is showing up first and getting all his work in, because he's a pro. And I think with the charity work that he's doing, which takes a lot of work, right? Rachel and him have a lot of work they do behind the scenes. They have a team, a staff that helps them decide on what they're going to do with their money and who they're going to help. I believe that Max Crosby will eventually be the NFL Man of the Year. And that's one of the greatest honors you can have in all sports. The NFL Man of the Year. You get the patch on your jersey, and it stays with you. Russell Wilson, Eli Manning, J.J. Watt. You go down the list of all the winners who were able to win the award. And Max has been nominated by the Raiders pretty much every year the last couple of years. So is he getting close? I don't think he's going to do more or less than he's done in the past. It's a vote. It's a vote. The way J.J. Watt won it was a massive hurricane. Massive in Houston. Well, that was a high-profile disaster, and J.J. Watt stepped up, and he won NFL Man of the Year. Russell Wilson used to go to hospitals without anybody knowing. Anybody knowing. He'd go to hospitals on his off day and be with kids. I know that Max does a lot of things behind the scenes that you're not aware of, and that's going to hopefully help him and his opportunity. And Max he's not campaigning to win this award. That's not who he is. But I think eventually that's going to happen there. And I'm excited about that. And when it comes to what's going to happen after that with the Raiders, I was talking to Ari about our schedule. Q's off for a little bit here. I was just off. I'm going to take a little bit more time off. And then camp's going to open up July 23rd for the rookies. And then July 28th, it'll open up for the veterans. And then when that happens, they bring everybody together and camp is on. We will be broadcasting from camp. That's what the call I was on this morning about when we're going to do it. Problem with this show is this show comes on at noon. So sometimes, depending on when they have practice, it's more feasible for me to be out here in studio doing the show than being out there with nobody because practice ended and everybody's inside and I'm sitting outside with nobody. So we got to figure that out. But normally what happens at training camp is that they bring us players and coaches and we tell stories and we have a good time. So that's coming up right around the corner here. And then the rest of the time, as we lead into the start of the season, we got some other charity work we're going to do. Albert Hall, who just joined us, invited me out to Summer League to do 3 or 4 shows. I'll probably do 2 or 3 out there at Summer League, and we'll be right on the main concourse. They opened up, actually, a little broadcast area out there, Ari, which is pretty cool because what they're doing is the evolving of having us in a spot where it used to be, hey, you're going to be up against the wall at the Thomas and Mack. People might see you or not. Now they're putting us in a spot where everybody can see us, which is cool. You know, I'm excited about that,
That's
so that'll
awesome,
be fun. So that's all that we got going on here. Also, I'm going to disappear for a Rush concert. I am going to go whitewater river rafting or in Boise. Do that for the first time, which I haven't done with my wife. And 4th of July is an interesting one for me. I've been hearing, and if you'd like to invite me, I will bring a few bottles. I'm trying to figure out what's the real deal on this 4th of July. Anybody out there, you know how to find me on X at JT the Brick. I'm hearing rumors that this is going to be the biggest fireworks show in the history of Vegas. History. That includes the Millennium, everything that we've seen in the history of New Year's Eve, where we have the biggest fireworks there. Now I'm hearing whispered in hushed tones that the largest fireworks show of all time will be in Washington, D.C. That'll be the largest and most expensive ever. Vegas is second, but I haven't heard much about it. So where's the hookup? Where's the party? Where's the rooftop rafters? Where's the rooftop? I'm going to talk Mark Jones, maybe the rooftop, the poodle room at the Fontainebleau. Or maybe somewhere up top at Circa or somewhere. What are people going to do on the 4th of July? Because, Ari, we're going to be baking like potatoes that day. It'll probably be like 1:15, right?
Oh, JT. Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's why I'm like, oh, no. Yeah.
And I live on the mean streets of Summerlin, and I got a cool backyard, but I can't see fireworks from my backyard.
Yeah, it's a tricky situation. I haven't heard anything, by the way, to your point. I mean, I'm not exactly Mr. July 4th, but I have yet to hear anything. But maybe that's a sign, because when it's quiet like that, you know.
I love New Year's Eve, and I love the 4th of July. Some people call it amateur hour around here. You know, I don't want to go on. Take me to the party.
The opposite.
Where's the party?
This is where it's at, I feel.
This is where it's at, too. Oh, and also another thing I'm hearing whispered in hushed tones. The Knicks are coming out here for their pool party.
Okay.
And you see the shirt I'm wearing today. That should be able to get me into that party.
One would think.
So when the Knicks come out here for their pool party, nice. I would assume that's going to be pretty quick because a lot of those Knicks want to take a vacation. Thanks to Ari who put the show together. Thank you so much. He claims, and I listen to him, he knows more than me, we're off tomorrow.
I swear.
We are off tomorrow.
I will not be here in this room at 12.
I will be off tomorrow, too. We'll be back on Thursday. Friday is the Max Crosby Foundation event. We'll tell you about that. And then other than that, we got big things this weekend. I'm heading to the World Cup. So I'm going to go to the World Cup with my son and experience something I've never experienced in my life. The World Cup. I'm excited for that.
Sounds awesome.
It's at SoFi. We're Raider Nation. SoFi hasn't been good to us. We have struggled there, from John Gruden upset with the lightning storm delay, the horrible road locker rooms, Inglewood, which is not the Vegas Strip. But I think it'll be fun to see a global soccer game at the highest level. If you miss any portion of the show, lvsportsnetwork.com. Also, the YouTube channel. We're going to be doing some giveaways this summer. You can only be a part of it if you sign up for free at JT the Brick YT. Instagram, I did a live feed today on golf. Didn't get a chance to get to golf today. It's at JT the Brick LV. We will go to some national programming here. And I'll be on tonight at 8 o'clock on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Sirius XM. And it's the NBA Draft. And the NBA Draft is going to be electric. Those first 7 or 8 picks, they're going to be game changers. So we'll watch that and we'll talk about that on Thursday. Have a great day, everybody.